Hey there. Today I want to show you how you can build a church app using the AppInstitute app builder. It's really quick and really straightforward to do. Before we get started, I just want to go through a few things that is useful to have in preparation to building your app. So having your logo at the ready, having a homepage background in a portrait orientation, having your brand, your brand guideline colors ready, a link to your donation service. We see that in a lot of church apps with AppInstitute. That tends to be donations being one of the main points of the app. So a link to your donation service online, your upcoming events, so info about your upcoming events at the church, an about us blurb, so a bit about the church, the history of the church, whatever may be relevant to put into a nice contact screen, which leads on to the next section, which is your business contact information. Other things you may want to consider, you may want some videos of past sermons or similar events you may have recorded that you wish to upload to the app. So they're always things to consider as well. So that's kind of good ideas, a good checklist to have before you start. And now we've gone over that, let's get cracking in building the app. So if we go into the AppInstitute app builder platform here, you'll see if you go to create a new app, you'll see the first section is create new app. What is the name of your app? So in here you just put in the name of your church, which in this instance I'm building an app for Spiritual Church. So I'm just going to set Spiritual Church as my name there. And then you'll come into the app building wizard. And the app building wizard is very straightforward. It will just show a few templates and a few categories. And it takes a bit of time to load because it's loading kind of 20 or 30 different app options. And once that's done so, you can click into the informational section and select church. Now on the right hand side, you'll just see a preview of an example app that's in there for you. I'm just going to kind of head on and continue. I know it's the church template I want, but you can scan through these templates and have a look if there's any others that suit your requirements. But obviously today we're looking at a church app, so we're going to select the church template. If I press continue there, it will go through the wizard more thoroughly. So we've got enter your website, and that's there to allow you to add your color palette into the app automatically. So you can either enter your website here if you have one, or you can skip this step and set your color palette manually within the app builder. I'm going to skip this step of building for a fictional church, so obviously I don't have a real website in this scenario. Again, next step, very simple. You can skip or go enter your phone number in. If you enter your phone number in, you'll just get a notification that allows you to preview the app just by clicking a link, but those links are available within the app builder as well. And then that will prepare my template in the background and then launch this section. Launch your app in 3 easy steps, and they're very quick and very straightforward to go through. So I'm going to crack on and go through those. And step 1 is appearance. So in appearance, we want to set our color scheme, and you'll see here on the right hand side, customize your color palette. So I have this document ready with my color scheme and with the information that we talked about in the checklist at the start. So I'm just going to simply copy and paste my color codes into the app here, into my header bar and tab bar. If you don't have the color code, you can obviously use this section to move the colors around and choose the shades you want. And then when I've gone through that, I'm just going to simply add my secondary colors in for my icons, so my selected tab icon and my tab icons. And then I want my selected tab icon to be white because my usual tab icons are black, or a shade of black. And then what's really good to do in this section is then go to advanced, because in there you can have a real good preview of all the colors that are in the app. So you kind of see this section here where you see your back and about buttons and your tab buttons, but you also see what a menu would look like and what any other buttons in the app would look like. So you can see in there that all the text is readable, and kind of all dark on light backgrounds or light on dark backgrounds, and therefore you know it's going to work, and the usability of the app is fine to continue with. What we can also look at in basic section is you have the ability to change fonts. We have a range of fonts here that you can choose from. I'm going to stick with the default Helvetica, but you obviously can feel free to change that as you wish. Press save, and then you can go onto your theme, and this is the images section. So we've finished our theme, and now we're going on to the images section, and this is where we want our app icon and our homepage backgrounds or logo to come in. So if I click over the app logo at the top, so app icon, I can click onto the pencil and then I can upload my logo. So if I click onto upload image here, I can then go and choose my logo from my folder. So my Spiritual Church logo here. I can choose that, and then I can press save image. you'll see there that it fits perfectly as a square logo. If your logo happens to be a different size, then you can stretch it or change the size in this section here just by clicking the green dots, and you can also select a background color as well to match your logo. I'm just happy with the size. I know it fits perfectly, so I'm just going to save it as it is in the default size. And then once I've done that, I'm going to look at doing my splash screen. Now, a splash screen is just a screen that loads for a couple of seconds. So in here, I don't always use the homepage background screen, which maybe adds a bit more detail, a bit more color to the app, and a bit more design. In here, I just tend to use the logo again. So I use the logo on a dark background in this instance. So you can see here that it's just the app logo on a black background. Looks perfect. Everything's within this safe zone here. So you see these lines here. They ensure that everything within that area will be shown on all devices. So if it's scaling on certain devices, everything will be shown. So always best to make sure there's no imagery or text cut off in that region. And I just press save image there, and then it will come in and load that image in. And once it's done that, I'm on the header bar section. So in the header bar section, I can either set to have an image where it's got Spiritual Church up there. I can set custom text and change the text, or have no text whatsoever. Or I can set a business name, which is just what you entered as your business name. So I entered Spiritual Church, and that's what's set by default. So that's what's showing currently. I like to go with custom text and just show nothing in that bar, mainly because I'm always using a logo on the homepage background anyway. So by having the business name on there, you're just kind of repeating the same thing twice. So I like to go with custom text and leave that blank, and then just press save. And once you've saved, you come into the content section. So section 2, content. I'm just going to click edit content, and it goes straight into there. And then we can just go through the tabs one by one. So the home tab, I can just click into there, click into tab settings, and then just upload a background really easily. I've got my homepage background that I created earlier in the portrait orientation as mentioned, and I'm just going to put that in, and then it will load into the app perfectly. So with those dimensions, the 1080 by 1920 and the portrait orientation, that fits perfectly, and I can see that that's loaded in by the image being there on the right hand side preview there. And then I've got a few different sections here. I've got events are already in now. I mentioned earlier to have a few events ready if that's something you're looking to do. And I've got my sermon every Sunday and my tea and talk every Tuesday. So I'm going to show you how you can add those into the app and set them recurring. And it works perfect. So sermon on Sundays being the event of the app. Place would be the church. And you can add an image in. For myself, I'm just going to add in the logo itself, because there's not really any specific event-based image I need to add in. Obviously, there's no price to this event, and I'm not going to have it bookable. I don't need people to book to come, so I'm just going to leave it blank, and that means the event is not bookable. And then I'll just set a time. So I said 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. lasts an hour, so I can put 10 to 11, and then I do want it to recur every Sunday. So every week, starting from this Sunday, and I'm going to put the end date in about 3 or 4 months time, just because obviously if you ever change time and stuff like that, you don't want it too far in advance. So if I'm just going to put the end date there, and then I'm going to select to repeat on Sundays, and that would then be all set. So I can just press save on that, take a couple of seconds, and it'll put all those into my Sundays on the calendar very shortly, just kind of saving those for future dates and the current date, and then that will be in the app. And that works really nicely. And then you can also add a second event if you wanted to. So I also wanted to add in the tea and talk every Tuesday. So tea and talk on a Tuesday. Again, place being the church. Not really an image I need to use here, but I may want to use the image of the coffee that's already in there, which works quite nicely. So I can do that. You'll see there I've had a notification that says event saved. So that just means my other event has now been saved and is in the app. In here, again, I don't want it bookable, and I'm going to set that at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. So if I just pop here, 11, and again, lasts an hour, so I'll pop 12 on the other side there. Recurring, yes, I know it's every week, and this is running for the next 4 weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the start date to be the 29th, and the end date to be the 27th, and then put it on Tuesdays. And then if I press save there, again, it'll take a couple of moments just to put that event into the app, and you'll see here that we know that our sermon on Sundays is in there, because that's showing in the app now and perfectly been created. So we know that the sermon on Sundays is there, and now our tea and talk is now there as well, as that's saved into the app. So I'm going to save there, and that's our events page done. In here you've got like a prayer form that's already there, so you can either edit that or leave it as it is. So it's quite a detailed form already. I'm quite happy with that, so I know that's what I want. But you can play around with that or remove it from the app if it's not relevant. But I'm gonna leave that in the app there. I think that works really nicely. And then the About Us section. This is where I just said have some contact information in. So the name of your business is there perfectly. Your email address you would want to enter in. It may be the email address that you signed up with is your email address for the church, so therefore you wouldn't have to change it. If it's different, then you can just add that in to the app really easily like this. Just copy and paste it in, or whatever you may wish to do. You can set a tagline. I'm quite happy with the tagline there actually, so I will leave that there. You can pop your phone number in the app just for contact details, and then the About Us blurb. Now I created an About Us blurb already, so I'm just going to simply copy and paste this into the app here, and then I'm going to edit the text so it's not centralized, and there we go. So that's all then for in the app. The only other section that I really need to care about here is my business location, and then I'm just going to copy and paste my address into the app as well. I'm pretty much there with the app now. This is nearly already complete. The only other thing I need to do is add in the donation link, and if I'm going to add in any videos. So I'm going to pop in there. That's the location done. And to add in a donation link, all you do is add feature and content here. You go to external link. I'm going to name that donation. You can select an icon yourself, so you might want to kind of search maybe something that's relevant. So I'm going to search for money and select this one here, kind of relevant to the name, and then continue, and then just copy and paste in your donation link and press save. What you want to do is a donation link though is make sure it opens in an external link tab, and that's just because of how Apple and Google manage donations. They don't allow them inside an app, so you do have to direct outside of the app, which is why we use an external link here. So your existing donations page, and it's why we set to an external tab. I press save there, and then you'll see it's in my inactive tabs, and I can just drag and drop that into the app. And I'm going to drag it into my second tab, so I've got my events and my donations there. The other feature I mentioned was videos. Really nice feature to have within a church app. So if I head to media and video directory, I can just leave that maybe as title videos, or it might be sermon videos, whatever you wish to choose. So I'm going to go for sermon videos there, press continue, and then I can press add video. If I press add video, I can give the video a name, so maybe Sunday sermon, probably with a date, so maybe if I give it the 20th for example here, and then I can click upload video. And I've got my video ready, sermon video here, and I just click upload video there. We recommend between, well, no more than kind of 50 meg, ideally up to kind of 20 meg is an optimum size, and you'll see that will just take a few moments to load into the app. Once it's loaded, you'll see it, file name is there, and then you can either add a category or leave it as no category, and it'll just be in the all videos. So in this instance, I've not got any other videos, so I'm not going to add a category, but I could add, say, sermons as a category, or whatever you wish to do there. Press save, and then put that into the inactive tabs automatically, and then I can drag and drop that into the app. The last thing I now need to do is just select my navigation options, which is here, so I can just select my navigation options here. I always like to go with a custom navigation, just so I can have a little bit of transparency, but not too much transparency on the tab bar. So I like a tab bar myself, so I'm going to go with a tab bar, and you can see the differences here, side menu and a tab bar in a nice example we have there. I'm going to go with the tab bar, and I'm going to go with a small level of transparency, and then I'm going to preview the app now to make sure everything I built's there, and to see if it looks exactly how I've intended it to look. So we can see here we've got our tabs along the bottom, our events. What I do realise there is maybe my view for the events isn't great for a church. So I can go back into my editor mode here, click into my events, and I can change my app calendar view to list, or list and calendar. I'm just going to go for a list. I think a list works really nicely for the type of events I've got. So I can press save, and then I can go to preview again now, and now I'll see my events in more of a list view, which works better for a church of the type of events I put in. The donation is obviously something that goes out externally, so I won't click on that now because obviously that will take you is outside of the app. But that's something you can select in your app and it'll take you to the donations page. My sermon videos, perfect. My Sunday sermon videos there. Again, I could go and play that if I was inside the app. And then in the more section, I've got the other tabs I had, the prayer, simple form there, and the about us. And that's got all the information I put in earlier. So that's it, how to build a church app with AppInstitute. Really quick and really straightforward. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.